That's the first table. Then we have one more data here, then one more here, and one more here. Okay, so and if you closely look at them, all are connected. So we say we have one data set with how many variables? The variable in the first table, second table, not all, but maybe these two. The third table, this one, and fourth table, this two. So these are the total number of variables, 17 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2. So that's what my data we have. So define and collect the data. The third step was organize the data. Now, as such, this data doesn't look haphazard. Okay, this looks very much organized, right? Somebody else might have organized it. So you need to understand how they have organized the data. Either you organize yourself, or if somebody has organized, you need to understand that. And that's why we started our journey to, as a first step in data analysis, was to understand the data. And if you recollect, we use filters, sorting, color shading, and at the later part of the session, we actually went and established the connection between different data table, the sales data with product details, the sales data with return orders, the sales data with region details. And to establish this connection, if you recollect, we have used a formula called VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And that's why now, if we ask how many variables we have put all the variables in my first worksheet. And there are total 21 variables. 17 in the main sales data. The 2 I brought from product detail. 1 I brought from return orders, and this one I brought from the region details. In region details, we have one more variable called political stability. That we can bring it here. Okay. So let me put that just as a revision. So I'll say political stability. Okay. If you want to work along with me, you can ask me to, or you can confirm whether you have opened the file or not. And I hope you are opening the file which we are working last class, because in the last class we already had a formula put in. Sorry, not here. Already we put in the formula for category, subcategory, return orders, and economic condition. Now I'm about to put the formula for political stability. So can somebody help me how to go about? Look at the sales data and look at the region details. Can somebody advise me which formula to be used? I'll give you a hint, whether VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. I hope you have a right to unmute yourself. Yeah. HLOOKUP. Fantastic. Stephen and Tejendra. Yes, it's a HLOOKUP which we are going to use. So HLOOKUP says horizontal lookup. So through this exercise, I will again revise how this formula works. Okay. So let me put up the formula. I'm going to put up the formula in sales data, because as far as data is concerned, this is my transaction data and this is my master data. Why master data? Because the region, Canada, Caribbean, the region, Africa, Canada, Caribbean, Central, this table contains the data which is more or less static. More or less static. Static in the sense, every minute or every second when new transaction happen, this economic condition of those regions are not going to change. The political stability of those regions are not going to change. They might change over a period of time, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or maybe whenever some rating agency changes this rating. But if you see the sales data, every second or every minute, some or other transaction is going to get added up here. So from that point of view, this data is very dynamic. That means the data will keep on adding here. And as far as region is concerned, the data are not going to get added, and also the data will not be changing too much. Now you might have a question, sir, but suppose a new region is added. Yeah, I agree. If we have a new region, you can add them here at the end. But those instances will be very, very less. For example, you might have a region called Antarctica. Let's say hypothetically. So maybe in a strategic meeting, you decide that we are going to open our our business in Antarctica or maybe on the North Pole, though we don't have a land mass there, but still on the ice. So then you will add up here, and that particular region detail will be used up in the sales data. So for us, this is a master table from where the information will be fetched into the transaction table. Okay, so we'll put up the formula of HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP into the transaction table where we want to fetch the data, not from where we want to fetch the data. And that's what we discussed in the last class also. So let me put up a formula here, equal to HLOOKUP. Okay, HLOOKUP. Now what I'm going to look up, since the master data contains the detail of the region, so I want to find out the detail about the region. So I will select a cell for the region, that is J2 in my case, comma. Select for this select for the region south, where. The next is where, array. In this table, region details. Where is the table? The table is available in the row form. So I'm going to select first, second, and third row. Comma. So as we discussed last class, the region south will be searched in the first row of this array. And wherever you find in that column, so this is the column L, right? South region is in column L. In this column, which row data, which row information you want to fetch into the sales data? So I'm searching for the now political stability, which is available in the third row. Not third row in this worksheet. The third row in the area what I selected. So I'm going to type 3 here. Comma 0. 0 means you do the exact match, not the approximate match. Okay, and if I press enter, it will give me 3. So let me recheck it, whether whether the political stability of South region is 3 or not. So I'll go to the region detail and I'll check here, L and 3, it's 3, right? Now, let me drag this formula for rest of the, or let me copy this formula for rest of the cells. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And it gave me the error. Can somebody tell me why I'm getting an error? We did discuss this last class also. Can somebody tell me why we got an error here? Why the formula which worked in the cell number W2 is not working in cell number W3? Can somebody help me to understand that, please? You can unmute and speak, or you can type in the chat box. Row number incremented. Yeah, fantastic. Pallavi, Stephen. Good. So what Pallavi and Stephen are telling is that, let's look at the formula what we have here. Okay, so let me zoom in a bit here. So you please look at the formula here. It says J3, search J3 in the array 2:4. Sorry, first here. Search J2 in row 1 to 3. 1 TO2 3. Okay, and the 3 remains 3 0 0. So let's we have a 4 argument J2 1:3, then 3 and 0. Let me see what changes are happening here. This J2 is becoming J3, right? You can look at here now. J2 becoming J3. That's okay, because the J2 was referring to south and J3 is referring to central. It's okay. That's okay. So that change is acceptable. But this 1:3 becoming 2:4, is it acceptable? No, because in region detail, the data is only in 1, 2, 3 rows. It's not in 2, 3, 4 rows. So I don't want that change to happen. So what I'm going to do, I want to log this. So 1:3 should remain 1:3. You have to understand in the Excel, the data or the table is in 2 dimensions. The one dimension is column reference, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And second is a row reference, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So I don't want this row reference to get changed from 1:3 to 2:4. I don't want that change. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log this. So if you want to log, you can put a $ ahead of that number or character. Okay, so $1 $3. Now let me see what are the other changes. This 3 remaining 3, 0 remaining 0. So that's okay. So now let me check whether now it's working or not. Yeah, it did work. Yeah, it did work. Now I can comfortably copy this for the rest of the rows. Okay, so that's how we got a VLOOKUP and VLOOKUP HLOOKUP functions. So that's how we connected the data from different table to one worksheet. Thereafter, friends, we started our discussion on summarizing. So right now we learned how to organize, how to combine, how to understand. Now, if you want to make a sense out of this data, see, in the last class we were trying to answer some of the questions, simple questions. For that it was easy, but now suppose if I ask you, what's the average sales? So you can say, sir, click on the column M, find out the average from here, 241.390. Okay, understood. What's the average sales for the market APAC? Sir, simple. You can filter here, APAC, and put your cursor here, and you get an average sales for APAC, 312.28. But if I ask you, which market has the highest average sales? Then you say, sir, give me a minute or give me a couple of minutes. I'll find out the average sales for each market and then I'll let you know. So in that sense, you have to execute some steps, note down some information on the paper, then compare the information what you wrote down on the paper. Instead, we can use pivot table. That's good, Pallavi. And that's where we stop in the last class. Okay. So with this 10 minutes of discussion, I just briefly revised what we did in the last class. Now in this class, our objective is to learn pivot table first. There and also the method is going. We are going to keep it same. The Q&A form, question answer form. So we have an objective, and to fulfill that objective, we have to make a pivot table. So friends, please do not focus much on how to make a pivot table, because these are only 4 or 5 steps, simple steps, which anyway is getting recorded here. The more important thing is the Dr. Aryan's role. That means planning, preparing, or making a list of steps, or making a or visualizing in what format I should prepare a table. Okay, so that's where your valuation should be more, not on exactly in terms of executing the steps in the Excels. Okay, so with that intention, let me proceed. So we have finished organizing, understanding data. I have not covered all aspects, but just give you some glimpse of that, and you can explore further on. And if you stuck up somewhere, you can always write a Q&A. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Now let's proceed to the next step of summarizing data using pivot table. The pivot in our day-to-day life, we have seen the pivot in the stapler. Now we said the stapler arms, this upper arm and the lower arms are pivoted at this point. So what the pivot does, friends, in the stapler? So basically, pivot constrain the motion of this particular arm, right? Since this arm is pivoted at this point, we can predict that this arm is going to move in this direction only. Now this arm cannot move in this direction. This whole arm cannot move in up and down. It can only move in rotation this way. Similarly, we have a pivot or a hinge in our doors, our main door or windows doors. And because of that hinge, because of that pivot, we can see the constraint in the motion. Same way in the Excel, when you use the pivot table, the data will be constrained. That means you will not have a freedom to look at the whole data. I repeat, once you pivot the table, once you put a pivot table, that pivot is going to constrain the data. In what sense? You can see the data only from 1 or 2 aspects. In those aspects from where you created a pivot table. Are you getting it? So then you might have a suggestion. So in that case, then why we are using pivot table? Is it going to help? Because if it's going to put a constraint, is it going to help? Yes, sir. With those constraints, we'll have a simplified, a summarized view of the whole data. To give you the idea, here we have a 10,410 records. If you want to guess, if you want to make a sense of this data, it's become very difficult. But with the help of the pivot table, now it will be easy. How? Let's see. Okay. So how to create a pivot table? Yeah. So we would like to answer this question: which market has a maximum average sales? And for that, we are going to use the pivot table as suggested by Pallavi. So let's go ahead and make a pivot table. This we discussed in the last class. That pivot table is going to summarize it. Okay. So for example, here you can see this January 3 transactions. Here, sorry, 4 transactions. Then February 4 transactions. And the March 4 transactions. So all the month transactions were kept in the columns. Then category, the transportation here is there, transportation here is there, transportation here is there. All the 3 transportations have been put here. So look at the structure of this table, this one, and look at the structure of this table. This table seems to be more organized, because if I want to compare transportations numbers, I can compare like this. If I want to compare the number for January, I can compare like this. If I want to only compare the category without considering the month, I can use these numbers. If I want to compare or understand the numbers for the months, irrespective of which category it is, then this number I can use. So you can see this pivot table or summary table is giving more insight. Now, more not in terms of depth, but more in terms of a summarization. Okay, the picture which is not visible. For example, 584 number is not available here directly. 345 number is not available directly. Okay, this 100, 125, and 120. These 3 numbers are there, but they are not in the format in which it can be compared easily. 100 is here, 125 is here, and 120 is somewhere here. In that sense, the pivot table is going to help us. I hope now you can see in what way the pivot table will help us to understand the data better way. Okay, though it's going to put a constraint. Okay, what constraint we'll see soon now. So here I have put in a steps. Okay, which I'm going to demonstrate now. Don't worry. So let's go to the Excel file and make a pivot table. So please keep your cursor anywhere in the table. Please keep your cursor anywhere in the table. Go to the Insert tab and click on Pivot Table. Click on Pivot Table. Okay. Now some dialog box will open. Some dialog box will open here. The dialog box says that the pivot table is going to use this data from A1 to W. So from extreme left to the extreme top left corner to the extreme bottom right corner. Okay. And it says that it's going to make the summary table on a new worksheet. Okay, let it make. So I'm not going to change anything here. Click OK. I hope you got a new worksheet where you have on one side you have a pivot table, something 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's okay. And on the other side we have a pivot table fields. Okay. So with the help of these fields and with the help of this layout, you can see the fields are here and the layout is here. The fields are your variables and the layout, the way you want the table, like in what format you want. Okay. And here we have a canvas on which the table will be built. Okay. Now let's see here. We have a question. The question is, which market has the maximum average sales? So I need a market and I need a sales. These 2 variables I need from this. So basically I'm now planning for my table. Okay. And the sales number should be available in the form of averages. This is what I want. 3 things. I need market-wise sales, and those sales numbers should be averaged. So let's try to make that. So first of all, I'm going to bring in a market here. So please, in your field list, locate a market, a field called market. Select, drag and drop that into the rows. Select, drag and drop that into the rows. I repeat, select market and drag and drop into the rows. So once you do that, you can see the 7 markets appearing here. Okay. So I got the market. Now I need a sales. So look at the sales figure, sales variable. Now you see in the layout, we have a filter, we have a column, we have a rows, and we have a values. So what are values? The total, count, the sum, count, average. Those are the values. So that value should appear here. So drag and drop the sales into the values. By default, in my case, it is coming out to be sum of sales. Okay. And you can see here, the table has nicely summarized the total sales into 7 markets. So the total sales was 251 or 2.5 billion. Okay, and this is the sum. I need an average, right? So here you can see the sum of sales. Can you see the small triangle here? So please click on that. You get an option called value fill settings. Same option you can get it from here also. If you say here, make a right click, you'll get a value fill setting. In the value fill setting, please select the average. Please select the average and click OK. So now the numbers are in average form. Now Amritanshu wrote 291.30, right? Amritanshu, that's a wrong answer actually. The answer is APAC. Right, Amritanshu? The APAC has the highest one. APAC has the highest one. Now, there were 7 regions. It was easy to compare. If I were in your place, I would use 2 methods to be sure that I'm not making a mistake because of my comparison, mental comparison. Okay. So what I'm going to do basically, I'll just right click here. I will right click in the values column and say sort, largest to smallest. So I can see the APAC has come as 312, and I'll declare the APAC as the highest average. Okay, that's the one way to do it. The second is I'll select all the numbers, go to the home, in the conditional formatting. In the conditional formatting, oh no, sorry, just a minute. Yeah, in the conditional formatting, top and bottom rules, and it's the top 10 items. And in the top 10, I'm going to make it top 1. Okay, only top 1, and click OK. And I see, okay, nicely 312 is the right answer. Okay, whichever method you want, you can use a manual mental comparison also. But trust me, if you do it like this, it gives a better feeling to the audience. They will be along with you in terms of comparing these numbers. So the answer is 312.287. Is the steps and comparison clear, friends? So can we now put our car, our vehicle onto a second gear and increase the speed? So I'm assuming that you are now okay with how to make a pivot table and how to get the answer. So let's proceed. Which country has a minimum average quantity? Can you tell me that? Which country has a minimum average quantity? And what is that value? So I'll just give you a hint. Now this question is asking you the average quantity country wise. So instead of market, so remove the market and put country, and remove the sales and put quantity, and make the average of that. Can you do that and get me the answer, please? The hint is, this question is asking you which country has a minimum average quantity. So instead of market, put country. Instead of sales, use quantity. And again, same average quantity. And then you can compare either by ascending largest to smallest order or by color comparison. So please proceed and get me the answer. Which country has a minimum average quantity? Macedonia 1. There are 8 countries listed with the value is 1. Fantastic, Pallavi. There are 8 countries listed with the value 1. Yes. And if you want to show those 8 countries, okay. So from friends, now onwards, for all the pivot table question, we should be putting a self limit, single minute retrieval of answer. Single minute retrieval answer. That means in 1 minute we should be able to get the answer. Okay, so let's see if I'm able to do it or not. Remove the market, get the country. Remove the sales, get the quantity. Make it an average quantity. Okay, and sort them from smallest to largest. Yes, Pallavi, you are right. There are 8 countries who have a average quantity as 1. Average quantity as 1. Trust me, friends, this pivot table, you should be able to do it in 1 minute after some practice. Okay, so please, and And in the meeting, it is very handy, very useful tool, because somebody will be asking some questions and you can immediately show that with the help of pivot table, right? So let's proceed and increase our speed and accuracy. We'll have a lot of questions on the pivot table. Which market has a minimum average quantity, but consider only those orders which are not returned? I repeat, which market has an average quantity? So now again, from country to market, we have to change. This should remain same, but it says consider only those orders which are not returned. Okay, so now here, let me first put market back here. So I'll put the market here. So I have 7 markets and this one, but this data, the data is a complete data. But the question says use only those records where the order have not been returned. Because if order is returned, it is as good as that sales has not taken place, right? So that's what the higher management wants to know. So what we can do, if you look at the pivot table layout here, we have a rows, we have values, and we have something called the filter here. Something called the filter. So in the filter, bring this return. Bring this return. I hope you have this variable in your table with the help of a VLOOKUP. So now we have a return here. As soon as you put a return here, you can see the return option coming up here. And here in the drop down, you have these options, yes and NA. What do we mean by NA here? NA here means those orders are not returned. Because return yes, and if there is no yes, that means it is not returned. So I will select NA here and click OK. Please look at this 3.488 value. This 3.488 value. What happens to that? It has changed to 3.483. I show it once again. If I see the overall values, it's a 3.4883. And if I say use only those orders which are not returned, it becomes 3.4831. That means some data has been filtered out. And only those records, which are those transactions which are not returned, now only those are being used. Could you able to get the similar table? And now I want to know which market is the minimum average quantity. So let me arrange them in a descending order, in ascending order, smallest to largest. So it's a Canada with 1.9756. Are you able to get it that value, friends? Canada 1.9756. Please confirm. Okay, Amritanshu, can you please unmute and speak to me? At what stage you are, Amritanshu? Hello?
So I have created the pivot table, but the value which you are getting, I am not getting exactly the same.
Okay. First of all, let's see this way. Did you get this table first? 3.48883?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Now put returns into the filter.
Yeah, already did.
Okay. In the return, select NA.
So I have converted that NA to no.
Okay, so select no.
Okay, so I selected that.
And click OK. Now, do you see return NA or no here? And the values like this way? Hello?
Value is quite different, sir. The value Canada for you are getting 1.975. I am getting 2.
Okay. You might have reduced the number of decimal place this way.
Just let me.
Can you please increase the number of decimal there?
Just let me check, sir.
Yeah, please. Let me keep it for 3 decimal. Are you getting it now?
No. No, sir.
Okay. What about EME and other numbers? What value you are getting?
The value is 2.
2.00.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you look at here? Is it average quantity or count of quantity or something?
Average of quantity.
Okay. And without this filter, let's go back. Without this filter, are you getting the same number now?
So,
You get 2.024.
so for Africa, I am getting 2.284.
2.2. No, without filter or with filter?
With filter, sorry. Without filter, I'm not.
Just first, let's go back. Let's remove the filter, please. Friends, other people just wait because I want to just debug if there is some issue and we can learn from that. Yeah, so just remove the filter and let's match the numbers.
Okay.
Are you getting Canada?
So Africa, I am 2.29.
Yes.
Okay, and
Canada?
APAC value is 3.711.
Okay, so we are matching. Okay, the numbers are matching. Fantastic. Good.
The Canada is 2.02.
Right. Now bring the return filter here. Return field in the filter.
Okay, the returned filter, I am putting it out.
Okay. Now this time select yes.
This time select yes. Okay.
And let's compare the numbers. How
Okay,
much you get for Africa?
The Canada value, the Africa value is 2.88888 recurring.
Okay, now got it. So what could have happened is that in your sales data here, when you put a VLOOKUP, I think there some problem would have been there. Okay, so basically this column, see, because the pivot table is not doing anything, it's just summarizing.
Yeah.
So the issue lies here, somewhere here. In your case and my case, the yes and NA, yes and no could not. There might be difference there. That can be the problem. Okay. Okay. So Pallavi says, can we check how many yes we have in return table? Yeah, Pallavi, let me check it out. So yes, the total number of yes what I got is 259. How many you have?
1 second, sir.
In the main table, the total number of yes I am getting is 259.
259. I'm on the same page, sir. 259. Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Amitanshu, can you click on column N and see the average is 3.694?
Average is returned. Okay. Returned. Okay. Just 1 second, sir.
Pallavi, you can also please help us by giving your numbers. I'm getting the total 259 rows where the return is yes and the average is 3.69.
So the what is the column name?
N, quantity. Column N, quantity.
Okay, 1 second.
So just filter on return yes.
6061, sir.
So your yes and mine yeses are not matching. Okay, in your case and my case, the yeses are not matching. Though
the values of returned is the count is same 259.
Oh yeah, but okay. Now we'll just spend one more minute and then we'll finish. Okay. Can you click? Do one thing. Put your cursor into the cell number V2. Sorry, U2. Here. Okay. And can you read your formula here? What formula you are? Can you just read the formula in your formula bar?
For return, no?
Equal to VLOOKUP.
Equal to VLOOKUP B29, comma returned orders, exclamatory, A is to B, comma 2, comma 0.
And your cursor is in which cell? Is it in U2?
Yes, sir.
It is in U29.
B29.
It is in the 29th row. No, your cursor right now is in which cell? Is it in U2 or U29?
U29.
Okay, so can you go to the U2, please?
U2.
Yeah, the second cell in that column.
Okay, just a second, sir. Okay, U2. Okay, I got it. The same thing, sir.
Now it reads B2 return orders A colon B 2, 0.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I don't know. Then maybe I'm just guessing. While making ascending descending in the main table, the look A column B by using.
Just let me filter. Let me remove the filters and then I will.
No worry. I think I know your like what we say, the order IDs and the quantities got misplaced basically somewhere between sorting while doing sorting. So if you take the original file and then do it once again, I'm sure you'll get the right numbers. Okay. So I'm right now just stopping our discussion here because we don't want to spend much time in debugging this. But that can be the one reason that in your case and my case, the order IDs and the quantities, those rows would have got mixed up. Okay. So or else you can, how can I share my file with you? Or you can put a once again formula there, or like take a fresh sheet and then put a formula there. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, my next question is, does the region which has a maximum average sales value and the region which has a maximum average profit are same? So basically, the management wants to know, okay, the top line and bottom line, are they from the same region? Can you give the answer, please? The top line and bottom line in terms of average sales and average profit, are they from the same region? Can somebody tell me how to address this question using pivot table? Make a plan and tell me. Yeah, friends, please come forward. Does the region which has the maximum average sales and the region which has the maximum average profit are the same? How to answer this? Let's say we want to compare 3 regions. There are 13 regions. It's the top 3. How to answer that? Anybody? So first of all, I need to bring a region now. And I need average sales and I need average profit also. Okay. So let me first make a table with that. So I'll go here. First of all, I'll remove the filter. This return, I'll remove it. Then instead of market, I will put the region. And we can see that 13 regions are there. Now, average sales and average quantity. So I'm going to remove this and average sales and average profit. So I'm going to bring in the sales here and make it an average sales. Okay. Now, friends, in the pivot table, you can put multiple values. So I put average sales. Now let me put it to profit. So I'll bring in a profit here and put it here. Okay. And that sum of profit, I'll make it average of profit. So now I have a pivot table, a nice pivot table where region wise, we have an average sales and average profit. Now I can compare this, right? I can compare this. So let me compare this. I'm just reducing number of decimals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this and I'm going to say, okay, conditional formatting, top and bottom rules, top 10 items. Let's say top 3. So I want to show, I want to show my management, visually, and let them figure out answer on their own. So these are the top 3 regions as far as average sales is concerned, right? Similar thing, I'm going to do it here and say, sir, these are the top, let me find out top 3 regions from the average profit point of view. Okay. So what is your answer? Yes, sir, more or less the top 2 region, in the top 3 regions, there are 2 regions where the average sales and average profit are same. Are you getting it, friends? So visually, see again, we are organizing and visualizing together. Here also you can see this, you can sort in descending order and do that. Okay, I can do this here also. But you have to think in what way the audience will get convinced more. You might have seen in the newspaper, in the magazines, some tables are given. So you have to think from the audience point of view, recipient point of view. In what format they will find it easy to agree the conclusion what you are going to make. I repeat, it is your duty to organize, to design pivot table in such a way that the recipient, the audience will easily agree with what you are trying to conclude. Okay. Yeah. Now, Pallavi says for Oceania, the sales is higher, but the profit is not the third highest. Yes, but you can see visually here, the Oceania is not very much in the bottom list. when you arrange profit wise, right? So top 3 region profit wise are this one, and Oceania is not very far behind, it's somewhere near. So broadly speaking, not exactly, but broadly speaking, the region wise, the top regions in terms of sales and top region in terms of profit are more or less same. Okay, now here I isolate top 3. Maybe I can take top 4 or top 5. That can be, this can be subjective things. But the point I'm trying to make is that make and present the table in such a way that it becomes self-convincing. I repeat, it should become self-convincing. You shouldn't have to put too many arguments to convince the audience about your conclusion. Think of a case where you have made a report and the report got published in newspaper. Are you going to go and convince each and every reader? No way. It's not practically possible, because it's more or less one-way communication. You print something in newspaper, that is good, it goes out, and the readers receives and interprets in their own way. Okay. We'll see some more thing like this. Let's see here now. Can you answer this question in a similar way? Does giving more discount help in getting more sales? Conclude based on the average values over region. Can you please conclude this now and tell me your conclusion? Does giving more discounts help in getting more sales? So basically, I'm again trying to say, region wise, does the average sales and the average discount go hand in hand? Go hand in hand. That means if you give more discount, are you getting more sales? In short, is discount helping us to increase the sales or not? Can you please try to conclude and help me how to build a table? Friends, I know many of you will be knowing pivot table. So if you find it too trivial or too simple, you can hint me so that I can skip some of things and I'll just go fast so that we can cover the graphs and charts or whatever. But if you find all this what I'm discussing making sense and it is helping you to upgrade your understanding of the pivot table in Excel, I'll continue with this one. Feel free to give me the hint. Okay. Pallavi says, no, discount is not helping to increase the sales. Okay, fantastic, Miss Pallavi. So this is the conclusion what you're going to make in the report. Okay. Now, can you help me to build a table which will be self-convincing? Can you help me to do that? So first of all, I'm going to remove the average profit and I'm going to put the discount, right? That's what you might have also done, and make it an average profit. Right, friends? Now tell me, what should I do next? How you concluded, friends? How you concluded?
Top 10, top three. Take the top 3, sir. In
discount?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So similar way, let's say top 3. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Oh. It's a self-convinced, but again, still here. Would you prefer to keep it this way, or if you want to print in a report or magazine, how would you print? Would you print it this way, or you will prefer something like this?
Or like this, sir.
Yeah, got it. Or maybe something like this. So this is a self-speaking. What? See, we are giving the highest discount in South Asia, EMEA, and Africa. But the sales is not highest there. The sales is somewhere here. More so. Now, see, friends, here, what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this region, sales once again. I'll go to conditional formatting, top and bottom rules. This time, bottom 10 items. Okay, and bottom 3. And this bottom 3, I'm going to put it with the different colors. Let me put it with the green color. Similarly, here, I'm going to do the same thing. Now it speaks on itself, right, friends? See this now? So, broadly speaking, you can see this. Except here, this is top sales item, average sales. This is a bottom discount, lowest in discount. This is top in discount and lowest in sales. Sir, it seems that it's exactly opposite. or somewhat opposite? Are you getting it, friends? Are you of the same opinion that when you see this table, you'll get a similar feeling that it seems to be inversely proportional or inversely related, the discount and the sales, right? So Stephen, and sometime back you said it's not correlated. In fact, with this, we can say they are inversely correlated. They are negatively correlated. Are you in agreement with my statement, friends? That to some extent, they are negatively correlated, the average discount and average sales. Yeah. And with this, the management might take a decision to discontinue the discount. The discount is not helping. Let's discontinue it. In fact, on the contrary, it is harming us. On the contrary, it is harming us, right? So that's what I say. No, making a pivot table is only 4 or 5 steps, but thinking about how I'm going to present my pivot table to my audience so that it becomes self-convincing and more insightful. And that's what we have many more questions like this. Which combination of market and segment has the highest average profit? Which combination of market and segment has the highest average profit? Now you can see here the market and segment are 2 categorical variable and the profit are 1 numerical variable. So let's go back. Market, segment, and average profit. So first of all, I need a market here. So let me bring in a market. And let me put this all out and bring the profit here and make it an average profit. Okay, so I got the first one, the market wise average profit I got. Now second is segment. What should I do for the segment? I need a combination of that. Combination means 2-dimensional table. So I can go and select the segment somewhere here and bring it into the columns. Bring into the columns. Bring into the columns. Okay. Now, can you tell me which combination of market and segment has the highest average profit, friends? Now I leave it to you whether you want to do mental comparison or you can use the conditional formatting. Okay. Even if you do the mental comparison, if you say whatever number, let's say you happen to say 52.9. Okay, you happen to say 52.9. So you have to select all these combinations and observe here. Maximum is 53.3, which is not this one, but it is this one. Or the best is, it doesn't take much time. It doesn't take much time. It only takes around 10 seconds to get it. And become visually convincing and impactful. Yeah, the Epic and Home Office is the highest one. Otherwise, normally when I was in the corporate, I used to find people to first confirm whatever statement I'm making. For example, if I say, without doing this, if I say the highest average profit is in Home Office and Epic, the audience will be, there will be some audience who will go on a verifying mode. They'll say, okay, let me check whether Dinesh has made a right statement or not. So they'll compare, okay, next highest is 52.9. Next is 40. Okay, it seems to be right. So they will spend around 30-40 seconds in verifying your statements, right? You can reflect on yourself also. When somebody is making a statement, you also go in the same mode, right? Yes or no? That you like to verify whether the statement made by the person is right or wrong. So instead of that, so don't give a chance of that. And immediately select this, go to the conditional formatting. It doesn't take more than 10 seconds, And so, okay, the highest is 53.3. So that immediately next second, you can start discussing what to do with that region. What to do with that combination. Okay, friends? And that's when I use extensively this conditional formatting. And after some time, you'll get a very grip over it, very good grip over it. And you can do it in 10-15 seconds easily. And you'll see the use of that more and more in this exercise. So let's go next. Which combination of market, segment, and ship mode has the highest average profit? I repeat, which combination of market, segment, and ship mode has the highest average profit? Now it's a 3-dimensional. We have a third dimension. So market segment was there. Now ship mode we have to add. So now friends, here the way we can add multiple numerical variables here, we can add multiple variables in the row or multiple variables in the column. Okay, don't put the third dimension in the filter, it will not work. Okay, so I'm going to put the ship mode. I'm going to put the ship mode in the rows. I'm going to put the ship modes in the rows. Okay, I'm going to put the ship mode in the rows. Now, can you tell me the answer for this, friends? Can you tell me the answer from this table? First of all, did you got this table? That average profit, market, ship mode, and segment wise. Market, segment, and ship mode. Which is the highest one? Which is the highest one? Friends, are you working on that? Please tell me in which way I should present this table. Okay, the Pallavi says APAC second class home office. APAC second class home office. Okay, I will wait for APAC second class home office. 67.2. That's what Pallavi you got, right? 67.2 Pallavi. Yeah, yeah. Now, Pallavi, you know, the point is here is that if you present a table in this format, again, the people will go in verifying mode. People will go in verifying mode. So to stop them, what should I do? This table format is not that much conducive, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click here. I'm going to right click here. Okay, in this pivot table wherever. Select the option called pivot table option. Select the option called pivot table option, please. Now go to display. Go to display. And in that, select classical pivot table layout. Classical pivot table layout. Okay, and click OK. Got it, friends? So the layout got changed a little bit. Friends, just give me a 15 seconds. I will close my window because there is a carpentry work going on my top floor, which is creating a lot of noise. Yeah, I'm back. So I changed my table to a different layout, which is easy to read now. Also, to make that highest, lowest, I need to let me get rid of this summarizing row in between. It's actually helping me, but right now I want to get rid of that. So what you can do, you can right click on market and uncheck this subtotal. Remove this subtotal. Okay. Now my table is in this format. Now my table is in this format. Okay. So now this table, this format is easy to read. Africa is here and Africa information is here. Then APAC is here. It's easy to read. Now, if I want to find out the highest, I can select all this. I can select all this 84 combination. How 84? 7 market, 4 ship mode. So 7 4s are 28 and 3 segment. So 7 4s are 28 and 28 3s are 84. So those 84 combinations we have, and out of that, let me see the highest is which one. Yeah, that's a second class APAC home office. Okay. Friends, it's not mandatory that you make a table like this only, but again, the objective is that it should become self-convincing to the audience. So I am suggesting one of this way. Maybe there may be many more ways in which it can be done. Now, let's see a different kind of data here now. The next question is, how many transactions were made in the region EMEA? how many transactions were made in region EMEA. So you can say, sir, for that, I don't need to make a pivot table. Yes, I can simply go to the main data, and in the region, I can apply a filter for the region. So let me apply a filter in the region and say EMEA. And then we have a 956 transaction which are made. Now, if I want to get a similar kind of information through the pivot table, how to do that? For example, which region has the highest number of transactions? So I need a transaction for each region and then compare that. So for that, again, we are going to use the pivot table. We're going to again use the pivot table. Okay. So let me go to the pivot table. I'll remove the filter. I'll go to the pivot table. Now from the pivot table, I need a region wise. So first, let me bring in region here. So I brought a region here. I don't need an average profit. I need a quantity. Quantity means number of transactions, number of records. How to get it that? Either I can use the profit here directly, and instead of average profit, I can select the count of profit. Okay. But that will be slightly confusing to some of you. I repeat, that will be slightly confusing to some of you. But trust me, you'll get the same answer. Okay. So for example, here, EMEA 956. But don't get confused. Remove the profit if you are getting confused. Put in the region once again. So bring this region one more time in the values. Bring the region one more time in the values. Okay. And then you can see the count is getting here. And then you can arrange them in a descending order. So short in the largest to smallest. And then we have which region has the highest number of transactions. So we can say that it is in central 2295. It is in central 2295. Did you got the same number, friends? Same answer? Yeah, good. Let's see now slightly difficult one. Okay. Find out the top 50 customers who have done maximum number of transactions with us. So you're not going to report that answer in the chat box. It's very difficult. But we want to filter out. We are not filter. We want to make a list of those top 50 customers. Let's say we want to send them an invitation for some event, or we want to send them some coupons or some bonus points to those 50 customers. Okay. So get a list of those 50 customers, please. In the same way what we did right now. So instead of region, I'm going to put it customer ID or customer name. So I'm going to use customer ID. Okay, and then I'll make them short, largest to smallest. So these are those 50 customers, top 50. So let me select top 50. A friend, somewhere if you're not in line with what I'm doing, just let me know. So these are those list of top 50 customers. Okay. Top 50. So maybe all 17 I can select, but I'm right now top 50. What is number of transaction wise? Are you getting CK12205 at the top? You can select customer name also. It doesn't matter. So I can select the customer name also. Okay, so let me say the customer name. And here also you can select customer name. It doesn't matter. So I select customer name. Okay. Yeah. So did you got Cloris Castan Smith? Yeah. Okay. Good. So we have a top 50. So from here we can make a top 50. Okay. This question is half of the story. Let's see the second half. Are these top 50 customers also most profitable for us? Can you answer this question now? Are these top 50 customers also most profitable for us? Can you find out that, please? So Pallavi declared that it is not. It is not. That is top 50 customer who are doing a maximum number of transactions are the most profitable for us. So Pallavi's answer is no. Okay. So let me see. And Pallavi, you can confirm whether you did a similar things or not. So I have the count of number of count. Now I need an average profit also here. Okay, so I got here now the count and the average profit. The count and the average profit. Okay. So now what can I do? First of all, let me shade them, shade this top 50. So this was my top 50 customers. Now I'm going to put them, let's say I'm going to arrange the data in the descending order of the average profit. And when I do that, what happens? One customer is here, that's a 10th row. Then next is 37th, 61, 64. Oh my God. 111, 116. Up to 242. Oh my God. Up to 3002, 318. Oh. So even there are some customers like Muhammad Lee. It was in top 15 in terms of number of transactions. But in terms of average profit, it is on the 418th number. The Rob Dowd, same way. So you can see this. So nowhere, looking at this list, somebody can easily conclude. And also, Pallavi says that in top 50 customers, in terms of average profit, only one of them or two of them are appearing, right? Which clearly indicate that no, the top 50 customers in terms of number of transactions and in terms of average profit are not same. So shall we make our sales strategy to increase the number of transactions to be more profitable? It doesn't seem to be. Right? Then maybe something else, right? Something else. So many times we see, that these customers are our loyal customers. They are doing transactions again and again. But these loyal customers are not giving the maximum profit to us. Okay, the total profit. They are not helping us to increase our profit. Right? That's what the conclusion we are trying to make from here. Let's see the next question. Now it's a tricky one. Okay. Find out the relationship between sales, discount, and profit using combination of market and segment. Okay, using combination of market and segment. And can you establish a relationship between sales, discount, and profit? That means if the discount is more, the sales will be more and the profit will be more. Or if the discount is less, the sales will be less and the profit will be less. Okay, I'm just giving one of the way. You can use your own way to do that. Okay, and for that, please take a combination of market and segment. Please take a combination of market and segment. Can you help me to conclude this one? And suggest me a layout which will be self-convincing. Is there a relationship between sales, discount, and profit in terms of average values? For marketing, for the combination of market and segment. Friends, are you trying? Shall I show you now how I would have done? So let's see here, friends. We need average sales, average discount, average profit, market and segment wise. So what I'm going to do basically, I will go here. First of all, market and segment. Average discount, sorry, average sales, average discount, and average profit. Okay. So you to understand the relationship. If I give more discount, I should expect the more sales. And with that more sales, for that more sales, I should have a more profit. So I'll put the discount first, sales second, and the profit third. So let me do that. Let me do that. So bring in discount here. Sales the next. So I have a sum of say discount. So let me make it average. Then I have a sum of sales. Let me make it average. So I have an average discount, average sales, and average profit. Now, okay, and this one. I need a here combination of market and segment. So market and segment combination. Let me make it now here. Market and segment. So market and segment, I'm going to put it same place. You'll realize why. I'm not going to use the column. I'm going to put it here itself. Okay, I'm going to put it here itself. Now, let me change the decimal place of this numbers. Let me put it in terms of percentage. Okay, yeah. So first of all, I created this table where we have an average discount, average sales, and average profit. And then we have a combinations here. Now, friends, here, if I do ascending, descending, what will happen? This structure will break. This structure will get broken, right? That will create a problem. That will create a problem. So what I'm going to do now, look at here. I'm going to select these numbers. Okay, I'm going to select these numbers. I'll go to conditional formatting. And please use the color scales. Please use the color scales. Please go and use the color scales. Okay. And select, let's say first one. Select first one. And try to understand what system has done. System has used a color spectrum from green to red. The green symbolically saying the highest and the red saying the lowest. You can make out from 20 and 0, right? Use the same thing here. Use the same thing for this one. Go to the conditional formatting, color scale, and use the same one. And again, do it same thing for here. Okay. Now look at this and try to make an inference. Is a higher discount helping us to have higher sales? No, because see, higher discount is here, the sales highest is here, and this seems to be lowest. Similarly, the higher discount is here, and against that, we have a lower profit. Higher profit is here, here, and somewhere else. So this way, if I can make a table like this way, it becomes more convincing. It becomes more convincing. So what I'm trying to show is that the use of pivot table and the conditional formatting. Are you getting it? There's one more way to do this. There's one more way to do this. I can select this, go to the conditional formatting and use the icon set. Use the icon set. Make it more simpler and easy to compare. Okay. Now, in the icon set, you have these things. You can see here. So let's try to understand one of them. Let's see if I say this one. Okay. The Pallavi says she used the icon set, it didn't help. Okay, Pallavi, let's try to see how we can make a conclusion based on the icon set. Okay. So I use the icon set. Now you see here the green color arrow up saying that they are on the higher side. The red color arrow down, they're saying on the lower side. And the yellow or the golden color arrow sideways, saying they are in somewhere middle. So let's see this way here. and here. Now I can compare here. See, these are on the higher side, but corresponding the sales and the profits are on the lower side. Now this sales is on the higher side, but the corresponding discount is also seems to be on the higher side, but the profit is not at all completely higher side. Here the discount is on the higher side, the sales is on the lower side. The profit is also on the lower side or on the average side. Here the profit and the sales are on the medium, but the discount is on the higher side. So broadly speaking, the discount is not helping either to increase the sales or to increase the profits. Broadly speaking, discount is not helping to increase the sales or to increase the profit. Okay. Now, right now, I'm using the word broadly. Later on, in the second half of today's session, when we discuss the charts and graph, we can make it very conclusively. Specifically, we have with some values. That is it really helping or not? With some values. But right now, let's keep it. Let's limit ourselves to this subjectivity. That somebody might say, sir, there is some kind of subjectivity. Yes, it is. Okay. Now, it's how much time? It's 8:14, and still I have 5 more questions remaining. So, friends, what I'll do? Can you finish this 4 more questions and then take a break, if you are agree, so that we can complete the pivot table part. Yeah, please. Thank you. And then we'll take a break for 7 minutes. Okay. Let's see this. Which combination? Oh, this numbers goes below the behind that. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Now here, which combination of market and order priority has the highest percentage share in the total sales? So now we want to find out this percentage share of market and order priority combination in the total sales. Percentage, in terms of percentage, 10%, 20%, 1/3, whatever. So we need a market, we need an order priority, and we need a sales value. Okay, we need a market, order priority, and a total sales value. So let's first make a pivot table for that. Market we have, sales we need a total value. So please bring in a total sales here, market wise. So I have a market wise total sales. This is market and order priority combination. So let me select order priority. Here. So I use a 2-dimensional table, market here, order priority here, and the total sales in the values. Now look at these values, friends. It is asking you the highest percentage. So first of all, you have to find out the average, the highest number here. It's 409, which is this one, right? Now this as a percentage of 251 or 2.51 billion. No, million, sorry. 2.512 million. So this as a percentage of this one we need to find out. 409,000 as a percentage of 2512. Now you can do it manually or you can do it directly from the pivot table. How? Please select here sum of sales. Go to the value fill setting. Go to the value fill setting, please. In the value fill setting, till now we were using the summarize value by this. Here we have one more tab called show value as. That you have a no calculation by default. Select here percentage of grand total. Select here percentage of grand total. Okay, and click OK. Did you got a percentage now, friends? Directly? Yeah, and the answer is 16.29%. The highest combination is by APAC medium order priority with 16.29% out of the total sales. Right? Now let's see in practical scenario what kind of question can come. Okay, so I'm giving you a hint. You have to get the percentage. Okay, for all the rest of the 3 questions. First one, what is the chance that next transaction will be from market EU and order priority medium? market EU and the order priority medium. What is the chance? Suppose the next transaction is going to come. So what percentage of transaction will come from the market EU and the order priority medium? Market EU and the order priority medium. Can you get me the answer, please, from this table? What is the chance? What percentage of transaction will come from market EU and order priority medium? Please do it. Suppose for next 1 month, you are going to focus, and then you'll ask a question. For next 1 month, I'm going to keep a track of number of transactions, from where the transaction coming. So what percentage of transaction can come from EU with order priority medium? Can you get me the value, please? EU with order priority medium. Anybody? Can you show again the percentage? Sumit, which step you want? How to get the percentage? Sumit? Yeah. So Sumit, you click here. Here we have a sum of sales, right? So, and anything, whatever value. So here, go to value field setting, Sumit. And in value field setting, here you have show value as. And in that, percentage of the grand total. That's what we selected for the previous question. Okay, Dipti says 13.21%. 13% is Dipti. 13 or 13.21, Dipti? So first of all, I need to change this sum of sales to count. I need to change to count first. Right, everybody? Because it says number of transactions, right? It's not saying total sales. It's saying next transaction. No, it is not 13.21. See, it is not. See, that was the percentage of the sales. Now we are saying number of transaction, next transaction. Are you getting it, Dipti? The difference between this and this statement. Now here we need a number of transactions. So out of, let's say, if somebody says out of 100 transactions, how many transactions will be from market EU and order priority medium? That's what we want to find out. So for that, we have to change this table from sales value to the count of sales, or count of anything for that matter. Yeah, Pallavi. And the answer is 10.9. And the answer is 10.9. Is everybody able to understand that, friends? Is everybody able to understand that?
Can you show us the question, please?
Yeah, please. So the question is that somebody said, okay, what's the chance that next transaction will be from market EU and order priority medium? It means that if you keep a tab over number of transactions for next 1 month or 1 week or whatever, what's the chance? What percentage of transaction will be from market EU and order priority medium? Okay. Dipti, can you unmute and tell me which stage you are so that I can guide you from there onwards? Or you want me to show the tables once again completely? Hello? So anyway, I got a market here, I got order priority here, and the sales here. So instead of sum of sales, I'm going to use count of sales first, because I need number of transactions. Okay. So total 10,410 transactions are made. Out of that, 1135 are from EU medium order priority. Now I need to express this as a percentage. So I can go here and say count of sales value field settings. Go here, show value as, and in that put the percentage of grand total and click OK. Did you got 10.9%? So we can expect that in next 1 week or next 1 month, around 10.9% or 11% transaction will be from this region with this priority. EU medium order priority. Is it clear, Dipti? Okay. The next one. Now it's a bit trickier. Listen very carefully. What is the chance that next transaction will be from market EU, given that the order is of medium order priority? Dipti, can you please unmute your microphone? It will consume a lot of time if I try to resolve the query on the chat box. Can you please unmute your microphone and speak to me?
So earlier it was 13%, 13.21, right? So
Yes, Dipti, that was because we had a sum of sales here.
Okay, okay.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Now, friends, look at the next question. It's a bit tricky. What is the chance that next transaction will be from market EU, given that the order priority is medium? So, for example, the same question. Let's say there is one manager who is handling all the order priority which are of medium. And if that manager asks you a question in next 1 week, what percentage of transaction will be from EU market for my order priority? How are you going to answer this question? Can you get me the percentage, please? What percentage of the transaction will be from market EU, given that the order priority is medium? So suppose the management is focusing on medium priority orders, and now they want to focus in medium priority orders. What percentage of the orders come from the market EU? Yeah, so Pallavi says 56.67%. Let me hold for a few more seconds and then I'll show you my answer. Okay, Pallavi? Oh, Steven says 19.12%. Oh, let's see. Let's see. I again repeat the question. Management want to focus on medium or priority orders and say, okay, now let's try to improve on the medium priority orders. Let's try to understand in medium priority orders, what percentage of the orders come from market EU? How to find out that? Okay, so here is the answer. Go to the value field setting, please. Everybody, go to show value as. Show value as, and here put percentage of column total. Put percentage of column total. I'll explain you why. I'll explain you why. Put percentage of column total and click OK. And did you got 19.12 as answer? Now, what is the meaning of that? What's the meaning of that? It says that out of the total transactions of medium order priority, 19.2% are coming from EU market. So if you add up these numbers, it comes to 100%. Are you able to understand this, friends? That whatever number of transactions happen with the medium order priority, out of that, 19.12% orders are from market EU. Pallavi, are you in agreement with us? What we are discussing? Yes, yes. Sumit says we can use filter also. Yes, we can use the filter also with the medium order priority. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Okay, you can do that. But I wanted to show you this feature of when to use percentage of row total and percentage of column total. Now the last question before you take a break, this one. Can you get me the answer for this one, a correct one? What is the chance that next transaction will be of order priority medium if this transaction is expected to come from market EU? Let's say the market manager, EU market manager says, okay, you are going to focus on medium order priority. Can you tell me what percentage of the transaction will be of that in my region? Can you get me that number, please? Use the similar feature for the last question, please, before we take a break. Steven says 56.67%. Let me wait for other people to, yes. Pallavi says same number. Yeah, fantastic. Good one, huh? So this time I'm going to use value field setting, show value as percentage of row total. Percentage of row total. Okay. So the similar way, the EU market, in the EU market, what is the breakup? This 7.99% orders are of critical order priority, 29.9% order high order priority, 5.4 low order priority, 56 whooping, almost half of them are from the medium order priority. So friends, with this, I would like to close my discussion on the table. After the break, we'll try to make a similar table using a formula. Okay, some of you might have a question, so why to do such a cumbersome method? But first we'll learn and then we'll understand why to do that. Okay, and if after that, in the last half hour, we'll start the discussion on the charts and graphs. Okay, and tomorrow we'll finish charts and graph and we'll see some optimization models. So that's the plan. So let's take a break of around 7 minutes. It's 8:28. Let's come back by 8:35. Please. Thank you very much. I'm back, friends. I hope you are as well. Now, you might have noticed here that to get the pivot table, you have to take a steps manually, right? For example, here, to get this table, I have to do something manual calculations. So if I want to get a pivot table, something like this, for example, let's go to the Excel file. Yeah, here. If I want to get the values for this table, I need a region here. I need the order priority here. So I can go ahead and make a table for that. So let me do that here. Value field setting, show, let's say no calculation. Then sum. Okay. It says, yeah, total values. Now here, I need what? The region and order priority, sorry, region and order priority, not market, it's a region. Okay. So let me make it a region. Yeah. So I have a region, I have order priority here. Okay. And I have the sales values here. And let me reduce the number of decimals to 1 only. Now to do all these things, you have to do calculation manually. You have to execute the steps manually. Now imagine a scenario where every day some transactions are happening, and those transactions are getting appended, getting added up at the bottom of this table. I repeat, those transactions are getting added up here every day. So that, and next day morning, when you come back, you would like to see the updated status here. Also, you want system to take some decisions or to suggest some decisions based on that. So it means that this summary table or the pivot table, what I created, that table should have a live connection with the source data. I repeat, the summary table should have a live connection with the source data. The pivot table is not that way. The pivot table, so for example, if I change, let's say one value, let me don't do it in your machine, please. If this value 7958, if this value, suppose somebody changes this value, let's say this value comes out to be this much, a very big number. I enter. Now the total sales has become something 7.9 something. But if you see your pivot table, it has not changed. It is same, 251. So to get an update here, you have to do right click and say refresh. So if I do the refresh, now the numbers get changed. But that's a manual one, right? If you want live, what do we mean by live? As soon as the number gets changed here or any number get added at the bottom of this, my summary table should get updated automatically. And to do that, you have to use the formulas. So we will try to get the same numbers. Sorry, we'll try to get the same numbers. These numbers. So I'm just keeping it side by side. We want to get this same number here, but using the formula. Okay, using the formula. Understood, friends? So that's a task now. So we're going to get the same numbers using the formulas. So let's start. Okay, let's start. Ready? Go to the worksheet called table using formulas and place your cursor into this orange color cell. Understood? Formula equal to sum, bracket open, equal to sum, bracket open. Now what sum you want? You want the sum of the sales, right? So I'll go to the sales data. Don't click anywhere. I typed equal to sum, bracket open, and then go to the sales data and select the column M. Select the column M, complete, full column. So please click on the M, the character M here. And you will see here the formula got updated with equal to sum, bracket open, sales data, exclamation mark, M column M. Okay, close the bracket and press enter. Did you got 251.251.2892? Please confirm. Yeah. So friends, again, we are going to start with a very simple formula and then slowly make it more complicated. Okay. And that's why I put 4 colors. The simplest one is here. Now what happened? If you put any value, or any value changes here, for example, this value get changed to, let's say this. And if you go to this table, you see the number has changed. Look at here. The number has changed without doing anything. Okay. Similarly, if you add one more record, let's say you add one more record here of 10,000. And if you go here, you see the number has got updated. Instead of 251, it becomes 252 something. So this way, this table using the formula will be a dynamic in nature. I'm sure you have some questions, sir, why such a complicated formula? Why can't we use a pivot table? But you see the benefit later on. Now, let's go and give the formula for this one. What this green color values mean, friends? What does green color value mean? It means the total sales of region Africa, irrespective of what order priority we have. So do not bother about the order priority, just think of the region Africa. Okay, so I'll say equal to sum if, because now there's a condition. So equal to sum if. Now here we need 3 arguments: range, criteria, and sum range. So range, so which column to search for? So you go to the sales data. Go to the sales data. In the sales data, click on the column region. That's a J. Click on the column region J. Press comma. Immediately press comma, please. So equal to sum if bracket open, sales data, J colon J. Immediately press comma. Then come back to this worksheet and criteria. What is criteria? In that column, wherever you find Africa, that's here. That is table using formula A3. Press comma. What you should do? You do the sum of those values. You do the sum of the values in those rows for the sales. So the sum range, next is your sum range. So go to the sales data worksheet and sum range is your column M. And close the bracket and press enter. Did you got 143 point something? Did you got 143 point something? Are you able to get the formula, friends? Yeah, good. Now let's copy this formula for the rest of the rows in green color shade. If I copy for the next rows, let me understand. The JJ remaining JJ, okay, that's good. A3 becoming A4. This A3 becoming A4. Is it a good change? Is it an acceptable change? Yes, Africa should refer to Canada. Now Africa, the reference Africa should change to the Canada. Okay, that's good. MM remaining same MM. So these changes are happening for the in the favorable direction. So let me accept that and proceed. Okay. Now let's put a formula here. Let's put a formula here. Here again, what's the meaning of this value? You get me the total of sales wherever the order priority is critical. Don't bother about the region. Don't bother about the region. So the way we did with the region, similarly we want to do it with the order priority critical. So I'll say equal to sum if. Equal to sum if. Range, criteria, sum range. Now this time the range is going to be order priority. So I'll go to sales data worksheet and I'll select the column R. I'll select the column RR, comma. Come back to table using formula. I'll select critical here, comma. Now wherever in the column R you get a critical order priority, identify those rows And for those rows, you do the sum of the values available in the column sales, that's the MM. And bracket close. Enter. Did you got 193470, friends? Yes, Pallavi will discuss that. Pallavi will discuss that. So Pallavi is raising a question that do we have to lock the order priority cells? Not only that, Pallavi, not only that, few more. Okay, Pallavi, few more. So let's see here. First of all, we got the total sales for the order priority critical. Now let me copy this formula onto the adjacent cell. And if I do that, I get a value 0.
Can you repeat the first part you have done?
Sure, no issue. So starting once again, equal to sum if, bracket open. Okay. It asks me range. In which column you want to search critical order priority. So I'll go to sales data and that column is R. So I'll select column R. So did you got equal to sum if something column R, colon R, comma. In this column, search for order priority critical. So come back to this worksheet and press and select critical. That's a B2. Press comma immediately. Are you with me, dear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. And now sums. Wherever you find the critical order priority for those rows, you added the numbers available in the column M. That's a sales. And bracket close. Enter. So 193470. Now, if I copy this formula to the adjacent cell, what happens? Let me see the change in the formula. This RR is becoming SS. Is it acceptable change? Is this RR becoming SS acceptable? Let me see. The RR was referring to the order priority. The SS is referring to the category. So this change is not acceptable. So that need to be locked. So RR need to be locked. So let me lock the RR. Okay. Next one. B2 becoming C2. Is it okay? B2 becoming C2? B2 here becoming C2. Is it okay? Yes. Pallavi, yes, right? Yes. Then MM becoming NN. MM was referring to sales. The NN is referring to what? Referring to quantity. Is it acceptable change? MM becoming NN. Is it acceptable change? Friends? The column MM becoming NN. Is it acceptable change? No. So we have to lock that as well. So MM I have to lock. And now let me again copy the formula and see the numbers. Are we getting 760463 after doing that? So I locked RR, I locked MM, that's all. So this is the way you have to analyze, Now, let me copy this formula for rest of the order priority and got 76. And you can match the numbers, are getting same numbers here. Now, the most difficult part comes in. Okay. Now here, this particular cell where my cursor is right now, what value we need there? What value we need there? The value is there. Total sum of the sales only for those transactions where the order priority is critical and the region is Africa. So there are two conditions, right? So here we use only sum formula. Here we use sum if. Now here we'll use equal to sum ifs, IFS, bracket open, plural, equal to sum ifs. And look at the structure of the formula. It says sum range. First you give the column from where you want to make a sum. In sum if it was last argument, here it's the first argument. Okay. So sum range. What is sum range? My column MM. This sum sales column I want to total up, comma. Got it, friends? So I put the sum range as column MM. Now criteria range 1. Criteria range 1. So I want to see the region wise. So region is my column JJ. So in this column JJ, comma, search for what? in my this table search for Africa, comma, next. So this is one condition. In column JJ, search for Africa. Next, in the sales data, column RR, you search for, comma, critical order priority. And bracket close. So let's try to understand what we did. Do the summation of column MM, but only when in column JJ you find A3 and column RR you find B2. Got it, friends? Press enter. Did you got 10499? First confirm this number, please. Are you getting 10499? Let me see your comfort level to get this value first, and then we'll think about the locking of the cells, locking of the references. Did you got 10499, please? Okay, Stephen says yes. Yeah, good, Stephen. Priyanka says yes. Good, Priyanka. What about you? Pallavi, about you? Did you get this? Okay, so shall I proceed for locking the references now? So let me copy this formula, column the up down in a vertical direction. Okay, so if I copy the formula here, it gives me 0, obviously for some reason. Let's see what reason. So MM, let's see the change. The MM remaining MM, okay, in both the case. The JJ is remaining JJ, that's not a change. A3 becoming A4, is it acceptable change? A3 becoming F4. A3 was referring to Africa, the A4 is referring to Canada. Is it okay? A3 becoming A4? Yes or no? A3 becoming A4, is it acceptable?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay, right? RR remaining RR. Now, this B2 becoming B3, is it okay? B2 was critical, the B3 is 10499. Is it okay? B2 becoming B3? No, no, right? So we do not want to lock the B2. I repeat, we do not want to lock the B2. We just want to lock the B2 becoming B3. So I want to lock 2. So between B and 2, put the dollar sign. Got it, friends? So my locking is going to be only from B2 becoming B3. Let me try once again after doing this. Yeah, see now 1049 becoming 606. That's okay. Got it, friends? So B2 need to be changed to $2. So now let me see the change. MM remaining MM, JJ remaining JJ. A3 becoming A4, it's okay. RR remaining RR. $2 remaining $2. That's okay. Now let me make the copy row wise. Sorry, in a row, column wise. So I'll copy here. It becomes 0. Okay, no issue, no problem. Now let me see the changes. Let me see the changes. Okay. So MM becoming NN. Is it okay? The MM was referring to sales. The NN is referring to quantity. It's not okay. So I need to log the MM. That's a 1. Next. Let's see the next one. The JJ becoming KK. The JJ was referring to region. The KK is referring to something else. The KK is referring to product code. Is it okay? No, not okay. So JJ I need to log. Now, next. The A3 becoming B3. The A3 was referring to Africa. The B3 is 10499. So A3 becoming B3. Can somebody suggest where to put the dollar sign? Like A3 will read what next? After putting dollar sign? A3 should read as $A3. $A3, right? It should become $A3. I don't want the A to change to B. The 3 should remain 3. Getting it, friends? So $A3 becoming $A3. Let's see the next one. SS becoming RR. Sorry, RR becoming SS. The RR was order priority and the SS is something else, is category. So this change is also not acceptable. So I need to lock RR as well. Okay. And the last one, let me check. The $2 becoming $2. Is it okay? $2 becoming $2, friends? Is it okay? $2 becoming $2? Can you confirm, please? $2 becoming $2. Is it okay? Pallavi, please check. $2 is referring to critical order priority. $2 should refer to high order priority. Is it giving the right reference? Yes, it is giving the right reference. Right, Pallavi? Good. So now let me copy the formula once again here. It's giving 49012. See 49012. Okay. So this way, now I can copy this formula for whole of the worksheet for the full of the yellow region. And I did it, and we got it. Okay. Now, friends, in this class, in this session, practically it is impossible to cover all the formulas. Okay, practically impossible to cover all the formulas. But now you got an idea how to put a formula, mainly for the column and row references, where to put $sign, where not to put $sign, how to build a formula. We use the formula SUMIF. A similar formula, a similar table can be made for COUNTIF. If you want to count the number of transactions. You can also put average if. You can also put an average if. The beauty of this kind of table is that as soon as the number gets updated here, this table will have an updated picture. Okay, this table will have an updated picture. You can put in a percentage also. Like the way we are computing the percentage sometime back, right? You can compute a percentage also. Okay, but for that a little bit more elaborate formula will be required. But you can try and make that. So I would suggest you to create a table for COUNTIF, create a table for average if with a different variable in place of region. Maybe you can select a market here, or you can select here the segment, and you can try to make that and confirm your answer with a pivot table.
So could you explain once again for the first part?
Which one?
Once again.
Which one? Which part, dear?
10,499. How do we get it? Could you explain it once again?
That building a formula for 10,499.
Yes, sir.
Oh dear, in fact, next time I would request you to stop me at that point and ask me to repeat, because you know what happened?
I was supposing to stop you, but you were a little bit in the flow, so that's why I got it.
No.
I don't want to stop.
So what happened? Because in the recording, people are seeing the recording not completely. They'll see the recording step by step. So they'll say, why again this came? Okay. So friends, those who are seeing the recording or those who are live here also, this I'm showing you the full step once again. Okay. So let me delete this and let me build a formula here. Equal to, I need the sum of the values only for those records where the region is Africa and the order priority is critical. So since there are two conditions, it should be sum ifs. Sum ifs. Now sum ifs formula has a sum range first. In the earlier case, the green color and blue color region formula, the sum range was coming last. Here it's coming first. So I need to add up the numbers in the column sales, which is in column MM, comma. Now you add up the number here only when the region column JJ, comma, contains Africa, comma. Also, column RR contains critical and bracket close. So let's read. Add up the numbers in MM when the column JJ contains A3, column RR contains B2. Are you able to get this? And
Sir, I
press.
am getting sales data and JJ I am getting, but when I put on A3, RR and
A3.
B2, so sales data RR, which part it is? Sorry.
RR is the order priority. RR is the order priority here.
Okay, again I have to select order priority again. Okay.
So what happens? I'll tell you, what problem happens. You select and press comma immediately. I'll show you once again. See friends. Equal to sum ifs, bracket open. Sum range. Where is sum range? Column MM. So as soon as you select the column M, press comma.
Okay.
This is where we get missed out. Because if I don't press comma, what happens? If I click column MM, okay, sorry. Okay, and then if I come here, it will change the reference. See this will create a lot of confusion. So equal to sum ifs. See here, column MM and immediately press the comma. Now in column JJ, comma, you should search A3, comma. In the column RR, that's order priority, comma, you should search critical, that's B2, and bracket close. So you have to read like this, this column, comma, this value, comma. So whenever, while building a formula, if you click in the worksheet to build a formula, in the worksheet, not over the worksheet, inside the worksheet, immediately type the comma. And then you have to lock. Like in this case, we have to lock MM because MM should not become NN later on. I explained that. Similarly, I have to lock JJ. It should not become KK. And A3 should not become B3. It can become A4. That's okay. RR should not become SS. And B2 can become C2, but should not become B3. So B dot. If I do this, I'll get the values. Okay. So friends, this is the use of conditional formatting, a conditional table. This is called conditional table. With condition we are preparing a tables. We can use sum if, you can use count if, you can use average if. You can have a multiple. You can put a filter also here. You can put a filter also here, like filter for the maybe a segment or whatever. And you can put one more condition here. You can add one more condition here. Okay. So you can try, and if you get stuck up somewhere, you can put a Q&A for that. I'll be more than happy to answer that. And here I'm just putting those formulas here, everything, so that you can refer them later on. You can see this on MM, then this SS, A2, MM, RR, B1, and all those things are here. So with that, I'm closing my discussion on organizing and summarizing the data. Okay, the next part which I'm going to start is a visualization. Next part what I'm going to start is a visualization. Some part of visualization we did it. Remember with that conditional formatting, with the scale icon and so on and so forth. So those are also visualization. But we'll go more about the visualization. And I understand this batch, the same batch who was there with me in the statistics. Am I right, friends? This batch is the same batch who was there with me in BSDM, business statistics for decision making. Yeah. So everybody is aware about the graphs and charts. Everybody is aware about the graphs and charts. So the basic part I'm just going to refresh, just to make the session recording look complete. But we'll go very quickly there, okay? Because I want to cover 2-3 advanced aspects in the charts and graphs, which we could not able to do it in the BSDM because the syllabus was not demanding that. But here, since we have a liberty of time, we would like to go into detail into that. Let me start. Just give me a minute to change my PPT. And friends, I request all of you to please open the worksheet called data file 02. It's a similar worksheet, but with a similar file, what we use in the statistics class. But I had a few more worksheet into that. And if the time permits, we'll try to go up to those concepts. Okay. So let me also open the worksheet. Just give me a minute to open that worksheet, that file, data file 02. So this data file also contains sales data, sales data. Additionally, this data file has those columns. You see this order priority, returns, and all this returns order is here. So the VLOOKUP value has been already embedded here. Okay. Now, to save the time, I have already put in the pivot table here, not pivot table, the summary table here. And we are going to make a charts and graph using this. Okay. So please go to the worksheet called by, par, and pie and tree. So there will be some data which is of categorical in nature. For example, the first table, this one. It says total records are 10,410. Now you can get this table using pivot table, or you can get this table using the formula also. Okay. If your source data is going to change frequently or is going to get appended frequently, then it is must that you should have a formula based table rather than a pivot table, so that the number gets updated automatically. Now let me make some visualization out of this. So I'll select Africa to 644. These all steps were shown in the statistics class. So friends, I'm just going to show the steps here, and I'm going to proceed. Okay. It's up to you whether you want to make those bar charts now or not. But if you get stuck up, you can stop me and you can ask me to repeat. Okay. So this is where I can get a bar chart directly from the table. Right. In the bar chart, you'll see some option here whether you want to show the data labels, values here or not. Plus, data labels, then axis titles. So axis right now, it's not showing anything because we didn't select it. But if you select region, so you can type here. You can type here, this contains what. So I double click there and say, okay, this is my sale. This is my transaction count. Okay, so transactions. And this is my region. Plus chart title also you can give if you want. Also, friends, this legend, and also it's okay. That's trend, and also you can put it, but it will not have any meaning here. And in terms of colors and everything, you can do the beautification from using these options. Most importantly, here you can apply some filters. You can apply some filters here. You can see here. Right now it shows for all region. But if you want, let's remove, or let's show only for the Africa, Canada, and let's say East Asia. So you can select them and say apply. So you can now see this chart has become only for these three. Though you selected data for all, but you can apply a filter here, region wise. Okay. If I want to add more, let's say I add Caribbean, and the chart will get updated. So sometimes we do give a focus to some areas and we want to compare them. So that you can do it here. Okay. I can select all, apply. A similar chart can be made for these values, exactly the similar way, because only the values are changing. The chart is not going to change much. You can do all this filtering, everything here also. Sometimes you have a data in a two-dimensional form, like critical order, like order priority and this region. So you can select all of these values. And if you recollect our DSDM class, you have two options. Either you can show as a clustered bar chart or a stacked one. Cluster or stacked one. So let me first prepare a clustered one. Okay. Same way, I can prepare a bar chart for the stacked one. So I go to insert here and put a stacked one. Okay. Now let's make one more chart. Insert this way and please select this 3D column. Please select this 3D column. Now this chart you please make 3D column. Please make the 3D column chart out of this. Okay, please make a 3D column chart. Select the data, raw data. Sorry, this summarized table data. Go to the insert, and in the insert, you have the 3D column chart. Now, friends, it's not only for the fancy purpose that you want to show 3-dimensional chart. Okay, but you see here, when you say 3-dimension means what? So one dimension is your region, which is around this axis, right? Here. The second dimension is your order priority, which is this dimension. The third is your sales, which is vertical dimension. So if I want to compare overall, so you can see this overall this combination, which is basically Central Asia with medium order priority has the highest sales. Overall comparison I can do. Now, if I want to compare only for the central, I can compare this 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. If I want to compare only for the medium order priority, I can compare this gray color bars. Got it, friends? So this way you can make a comparison x-axis wise, y-axis wise. Now the beauty lies in filter. The beauty lies in filter. Okay. Now look at here. Suppose in the meeting, somebody tells, okay, let's see only for the medium order priority. So you can just select medium order priority and say apply. And you have a medium order priority numbers available here. And you can do some conclusion based on that. If you want to see medium and critical both, you can select both of them and say apply. Right? Or let's say, if you want to see only for the, let's say, Caribbean region. So you can select Caribbean, apply. Now you see only Caribbean regions values being displayed here. So basically what we are doing actually you are slicing. You are taking a segment portion of the data and trying to analyze. And this way, this 3D chart, though you can discuss on a 3-dimensional form all together. But when I was the manager and when we used to discuss in meeting, we used to find this feature more useful. Where you can take a segment of the numbers. For example, I took a Caribbean, and let's say I want to compare Caribbean and Oceania. I can compare Caribbean and Oceania, right? This way. So I can see that in all order priority, the Oceania region is doing better than the Caribbean. I can make that conclusion very easily. And all these features are available because we have these filters and we have prepared the chart in a 3-dimensional form. Are you able to understand the utility of this chart, friends? Okay. Now, what is this comparison now? This is a comparison of total sales for high order priority between 2 regions, Caribbean and Oceania. Right? So somebody might say, okay, I understood high order priority. Is the picture same across all order priority? So let me include that time as well. Yes, the picture seems to be same across all the order priority. Okay. Can you compare the Oceania with, let's say, USA, which is our highest grossing? So let me see where is the US. It's north. I think it's the north. Okay. If I do that, you can see this comparison. So this way, you can make your discussion, your presentation live. Okay. And that's what the That's what main, I'll say, the big benefit of using this chart. Same thing you can do it in 2-dimensional also, but 3-dimensional become more beneficial. That's one thing. Next, sometime you might see that this chart is very, so by default the Excel will try to display the chart, 3-dimensional chart, in such a way that each and every bar are visible. I repeat, each and every bar is best way. So you can see here, all these 4 are 4. Here on it's not visible slightly. It's yellow is behind this. 4, all 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 4. But if you don't like this, what you can do? Make a right click here and use the option called 3D rotation. Use the option called 3D rotation. And in the 3D rotation dialog box, you got here X rotation, Y rotations, and perspective. Okay, so oops, 3D rotation. Now here, let's try to understand what happens. So X rotation, when I do the X rotation, what will happen? X axis is your region. So imagine this chart is going to rotate along this axis, along this line. Okay, so let me show that X axis rotation. So if I do this way, you can see this is getting rotated now. Okay, and similarly Y rotation. So you can adjust the way, if you find that not all bars are visible, you can adjust suitably. But normally I find that what Excel gives you is the most probably the best view, best view window that way. This is what Excel gave me. So you can use this to further beautify that. And you can use other options as well. That was on the bar chart. And if you search any more option, if you get any more options, more better features, you can please share with us. I'm sure you might have used that a lot. Next one. Sometime back we used the line chart also, right? By the way, the pie chart, I'm not, let me show the pie chart quickly. The next chart is pie chart. The same data I can use and go to the insert and the pie chart. Like a bar chart, we have option for the pie chart also in terms of the features. So I can add some labels, data labels. I can do some filtering. And in pie chart, this filtering is very, very useful. No? For example, suppose if you say that I want to filter only the, let's say, 4 regions, Africa, Canada, Caribbean, and Central. Let's say hypothetically. What will happen now? Will it show me only the pies of those, or it will take the total of those 4 as a full circle and show you? So as compared to bar chart, in the pie chart, if you apply the filters, it changes the shape of the chart completely. I repeat, in the bar chart, the height of the bar will remain same. In the bar chart, if you apply the filter, the height of the bar will remain same. In the pie chart, the angle of the pie will change if you apply a filter. For example, if I include one more region, let's say Central Asia, this pie will change. Okay, you can see here, this 2295 has changed, right? Because the whole circle will remain complete full circle. If you keep on adding more and more region, the overall angle of the pie, angle of each of the pie will keep reducing. You can imagine yourself in the train. In the train, more and more passengers gets into, it becomes more and more cramped. Same thing will happen here. Okay, so you have to understand that. So this way the pie chart can be used with the filters. Now, sometime back I showed you the line chart also. Now this pie chart or line chart, this pie chart and the line chart, this bar chart and line chart what we prepared, they are separate. They are separate from the worksheet. They are overlaid on the worksheet, right? They are not part of the worksheet. So now please go to the worksheet called Sparkline Charts. Please go to the worksheet called Sparkline Charts. I don't know whether all of you have the latest version or not. But if you don't have that options, then you need to upgrade your version of the Excel. Please put your cursor into the cell number F3. Please put your cursor into cell number F3 and go to the insert. Go to the insert and select the option here called Sparklines. Sparklines. Select the option called Sparklines. It is asking you the data range. Now I want to make a bar chart, a small, tiny bar chart for these 4 values. Africa region, this order priority, the sales across order priority. So I'm going to select this. Okay, and click OK. Click OK. Did you got a small, tiny chart? If required, you can adjust the height of the rows. You can adjust the height of the rows. Did you got a small, tiny bar chart in this cell F3, friends? Could you able to get it using the Sparkline charts? Now you can copy this across all the cells. So what each of the cell chart is giving a small, tiny chart. Remember the 3-dimensional chart was there here? In 3 dimension, this small, this tiny part here for west, for southeast, and this 4, 4, 4, 4 charts. These bars are coming up here. These bars are coming up here. Okay. And now across this, so if the value changes here, let's say this becomes 75. This chart will change. You can see this chart has changed. Right? So this chart are live, first thing, and they are specifically for this row. And they are transferable, like they are copyable. I can copy this chart here, 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 and the corresponding data reference will also change automatically. Only the word of caution is that this small, tiny bar chart is only useful to compare the number across this row. I repeat, compare number across these rows. You can't compare this with this one. You can see here, this is 75,000 and the bar height is this much. And here is 6.2 thousand and the bar height is almost same. You getting it, friends? So you can't do the comparisons this direction. You can't say that look at the bar chart of this one, this one, this one, and this one. And it seems the highest is this. No, no, no. Highest is not that one. You can see this is 49,000, this is 5,000. Don't make a comparison column wise for the Sparkline charts. It's only for that particular row. It's only for that particular row. Is it understood, friends? Next, let's try to create a line chart for the Africa region 2011 average sales, 2012 average sales, 2013 average sales. Okay, so same way I'm going to create a tiny line charts. We'll see more on line chart in the next worksheet. But first of all, let me create a tiny line chart. So I'll go to insert. In the Sparklines, we have a line. Okay. So I will select the data range from here to here, click OK, and you see small line chart is appearing here. And you can drag this. Now, this line chart feature will be more useful. You can see here, you can make out a trend that in Africa, the average sales is coming down. Average sales is coming down. It's clearly visible. Similar trend is observed somewhere in East region also. Right? Somewhere in Caribbean also. So this one, to some extent, this also are following same trend, right? Here we have an upward trend. Here we have a somewhat upward trend. So this kind of things you can do, analysis you can do. Okay.
How did you put the colors?
Colors by just shading directly. You select that cell and do the shading.
I thought is there any conditional formatting or something?
No. Not now. Not now. Not so sophisticated. But I just wanted to show that that we can have a small tiny line charts and we can compare that. Because many times it happens that in overall picture, for example, I'll show you one line chart which is going to be very, very complicated, and I'm sure you will be like this way. Here, you can see this here. This is more complicated, right? This is more complicated. They become very difficult to interpret. But instead, if you put those line chart in a small cells here, it makes life easy. However, again here, the number are only comparable across the row, for in that row only, not across the row. Like you can't compare 154 with 157 or this way. You can't do the comparison this way. And for that, you have to make a separate tiny bar chart here. If you want to do that, okay, you can do this. I can put the data from here. I can press enter. You can see here, but I need to give a lot of space here because there are a lot of region. Okay, so I can make a chart like this. So now this bar chart are comparing the values vertically, and this line chart is giving the comparison horizontally. I hope you understood how to make a sparkline charts. Now, in the case of a bar chart and pie chart, we use the filter from the chart itself, right? So friends, right now I'm skipping the line chart. A line chart I'm going to cover tomorrow because we have too much discussion there. So I'm skipping and going to the pivot chart here. Pivot chart with slicer. Please go to this worksheet. Sorry, this worksheet may not be there. This worksheet may not be there in your case. Okay. So we have to create that. So please select the sales data worksheet. Please select the sales data worksheet. Please select the sales data worksheet. Okay. And create a pivot table. Go to the insert pivot table. Make a new pivot table, please. And in the pivot table, we want sales ship mode wise. Okay. So select the ship mode here and select the sales, total sales, the values. We have total sales ship mode wise available here. Okay. Now go to the insert. And so keep your cursor into this pivot table. Go to the insert and select this pivot table, this pie chart. So now you might say, sir, what's the difference here? Yeah, it's the same. Like you can create a separate table and make a pie chart. But now this pie chart is based on the pivot table. So whatever you do in the pivot table, that will get reflected here. How? Let's see here. I select this chart. Let's say go to the segment and select the segment, bring the segment into the filter. Okay. So now I have a segment here, ship mode here, some of the sales here. This segment is also here. So if I select a particular segment, let's say consumer, what will happen? Only for the consumer segment, it will show me the breakup of the sales ship mode wise. I repeat, if I select the consumer, only for the consumer segment, it will show me the breakup of the sales ship mode wise. Okay, in the pie chart, it doesn't change much because the proportion remains same. Let me select a separate. You might have noticed some changes are happening here, right? If I select different segment, you can see here. Similar thing you can do using option called go to the insert. So you select first this pie chart what we created. So I'll select all. Go to the insert and go to the something called as a slicer. Go to something called a slicer and click on slicer. Now this slicer is giving you many options. So as the name suggests, slicer is basically going to filter the data. So I can use a slicer for market. Let me select for market and order priority. So I have a two slicer. One is market and one is order priority. Okay, now see the beauty of this. If somebody asks me, oh, can you show me the pie chart ship mode wise but only for the critical order priority? So as soon as I click on critical order, see here, critical, you can see this has changed. So it is showing me only for the data critical order priority. And in this, we have only three type of ship modes. Can you show me for high order priority? Yes, high order priority. Low order priority, yes. Medium order priority, yes. You can use two filters together, medium and let's say Canada. Maybe critical and Latin America. If you say, sir, I want to show critical and like multiple order priority, yes, then you can select this option here. So when this option is selected, now you can select the critical and high. So you can see the critical and high. So wherever the order priority is critical and high, critical or high, for those records, it is showing you the distribution of ship modes. Same thing you can do it here. Right? So this way, this line chart, pie chart, and bar chart, if you make it in the form of a pivot chart, you can additionally use a slicer. And the slicer will help you to filter the data in a very, very sophisticated way. Okay? Yeah, Sumit, do you want to know how I got the slicer, right? So let me delete the slicer. So please keep your cursor. So select this one, pie chart, and go to insert. In the insert, you get an option called slicer. Did you got it? Friends, I'll take 2 more minutes and then I'll stop. Huh? It's only 9:32. And in the slicer, think like a filter. Think like a filter. So let me select a slicer for market, for order priority. Even return also I can select. And all of them are available as a select option to you. So with this, you can create a nice dashboard. Okay, so let me first remove all the filters. Now here you can start applying filters. Canada, high order priority, return orders. No, nothing. No. Yeah, this is the distribution. Now somebody might say, okay, let's try to understand the US market for the high order priority and non-return, or for critical order priority. And then immediately you can have a discussion, right? So with this, let's stop here for the day. I'm still left with this line chart, histogram, box plot, and many other scatter, 3D scatter.
So in slicer, I'm not getting multiple options. Is there any version problem or something?
No. So in the slicer, are you able to create a 2-3 slicers separately?
So I have created the slicer. I have got the 2 options, but in that you showed us the multiple options. The right.
Oh, okay. Got it. So what you do here? Do you see this figure? This icon here?
So I'm not getting that icon. So
okay. That may be the version problem. Yeah. Okay. Nevertheless, instead of using slicer, you can put that as a filter here directly, and in that you'll get that option.
Okay.
I think mine is 2016 or something. I don't know, 2010 or 16. But this option is available from 2010 onwards. All the version. So friends, let's stop here. If required, this slicer and this one I can show it tomorrow once again. Okay. Tomorrow we have a slightly heavy session, because there will be a lot of calculation and a lot of analytical things. So please come prepared. Come prepared. Please come fresh. It's a Sunday, so I'm sure less thing will be bothering you on Sunday. So see you tomorrow, friends. Bye. And please give a feedback. The link which was shared in the chat box by the admin.
Hi Dinesh. Hi Professor Dinesh.
Yeah.
I shared the feedback only with you. But due to some glitch, like feedback form is not working out. So anyway, we can take up the feedback form with the students' individual Telegram group upcoming.
No issue. No issue. I leave it to you. Whichever way you want to organize.
Yeah.
Sure.
Done.
Okay.
Done. And thanks,
Thank you,
Learners. Learners, the feedback form will be like updating in the Telegram group, requesting you to share the feedback over there.
Yeah, please do so, friends. Whenever you find something need to be improved, feel free to put them into the feedback. Thank you very much, friends. See you tomorrow.